Hello, Tamara Green here for A Course in Miracles, lesson number 331. All right, ready for a facial? Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to start with my knuckles. I'm going to dig them in. You could either use the point or you could even use your thumbs, but I feel like using my knuckles today. Right under this bone right here. Push in. You'll feel there's a point in there. When you really dig in, you can feel that spot. Dig, 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 dig. Okay, stop. Dig in again. Gonna move it around. Okay, stop. Now this time, we're going to take the knuckles and move along the cheekbones. Really dig in as you do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now take your index and middle fingers and dig in right in the point where the nose is, right there. And dig in. You'll feel that point. You really dig in. Very good for opening the sinuses too. Dig, 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 dig. And then up and down the whole, nose area. And then across. Right on that bone. On the cheekbone. One more time. Then you up, back and front of your ear on both sides. Good. And then your temples rotate forward with your middle and index fingers. Forward, dig, 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 dig. And reverse. And then forward again. And reverse. Good. And now over your eyebrows. 2, 3, 4, 5. Under your nose. You can either rub back and forth or tap. Under your chin, or on your chin, under your mouth. And then both hands along the jaw. 4, 5. Good. And then we just wipe all that energy that came to the surface. Ooh, feels refreshing. And aren't you beautiful and bright? Okay. Wonderful, wonderful facial together. Okay, first I'm going to read the next section, which is called What is the Ego? And then we're going to go to lesson 331. What is the ego? The ego is idolatry, the sign of limited and separated self, born in a body, doomed to suffer and to the end its life in death. It is the will that sees the will of God as enemy and takes a form in which it is denied. The ego is the proof that strength is weak and love is fearful, life is really death, and what opposes God alone is true. The ego is insane. In fear, it stands beyond everywhere, apart from all, in separation from the infinite. In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over God himself. And in its terrible autonomy, it sees the will of God has been destroyed. It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams, its enemies who seeks to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. The Son of God is egoless. What can he know of madness and the death of God when he abides in him? What can he know of sorrow and of suffering when he lives in eternal joy? What can he know of fear and punishment, of sin and guilt, of hatred and attack, when all there is surrounding him is everlasting peace, forever conflict free, and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility? To know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws, and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. In suffering, the price for faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the Son of God is offered daily at its darkened shrine, and blood must flow before the altar where its sickly followers prepare to die. Yet, will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light, the altar to illusions, to the shrine of life itself, and peace will be restored forever to the holy minds which God created as his Son, his dwelling place, his joy, his love, completely his, completely one with him. So this is the section, the next 10 lessons of what is ego. And now we go to lesson number 331. There is no conflict, for my will is yours. How foolish, Father, to believe your Son could cause himself to suffer. Could he make a plan for his damnation and be left without a certain way to his release? You love me, Father. You could never leave me desolate to die within a world of pain and cruelty. How could I think that love has left itself? There is no will except the will of love. Fear is a dream and has no will that can conflict with yours. Conflict is sleep and peace awakening. Death is illusion, life, eternal truth. There is no opposition to your will. There is no conflict, for my will is yours. Forgiveness shows us that God's will is one and that we share it. Let us look upon the holy sights forgiveness shows today, that we may find the peace of God. Amen. So 331, there is no conflict, for my will is yours. So the ego is insane. That's because it's fear-based. And you may have heard me say this in previous lessons, but the original design of the ego was not to be in the driver's seat of our life. No, no, no. It was to be of service to God's will, to our heart, which is of service to God's will. But over time, over the generations, really ego became, became the driver of our lives. And you can see, the result in today's world with all the absolutely insanity and craziness, even weather patterns. It's all a direct, cause and effect. It's all a direct result of our insane ego. So what if we put our altered ego into the back seat of our life and let God's will be the driver, which is our heart. Our heart is the part of us that we're able to receive God's love and guidance. It's the part of us that is very deeply tuned in to the truth of who we truly are. So I, for one, have no conflict anymore. I used to believe everything my ego told me, but I don't have any conflict on that anymore. And my dream, truly, my dream is that you know this, experience this as well. That the reason why you're here is to serve God's will, which is your will. No conflict. There's nothing to figure out here. It's a done deal. Serve God's will. You are serving your will. Not your egos, not your altered egos, but serving your will. So when the ego takes a back seat, eventually it just stops fighting you and says, okay, yeah, we'll go in that direction. I'll support you there. But just like any new practice, whether it's exercise or diet or prayer or whatever it may be, eventually all that kind of conflict, fighting with yourself, the urges and all of that begins to simmer down. But you stick with the practice, okay? And you'll get there. Okay. Love you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.